So anyway, so for the lighting, this is where all the faders, whatever you ever call these for the lighting. You turn it on by this funny little word, blackout, which is, that's how you turn it off. But you also hit blackout to turn it on. These are the different controls. There's number 1, number 4, okay, so forth. Now, the ones we turn off typically to make the background dark enough so you can see the overheads better is I cut out these whatever that's called. All right, and that's really pretty much all I do. Sometimes I'll turn those off, which is the cross, these two cross. I'll turn that off, but it doesn't seem to do that much about it. The other thing you can adjust, but it makes a really weird sound. No, I can't. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. No, I was wrong. That's really the best. So I usually turn these off so that you can get a better view of the overheads. Yeah. And they're pretty self-explanatory. You can experiment around with the one. Sometimes I have done this sometimes where I turn off the back lights just so you're not so visible. But pretty much that's all I do is I just turn these off, number 1, and then these, which makes it pretty dark up there, but that's the only option we've been able to come up with. This is the area where we keep all the school equipment, sound equipment, and gear. And I was planning on building up some like office dividers that would match the color and everything. But I don't know if that'll ever get done. But anyway, this is where we keep our supplies. Now I've labeled everything. We should go in-ear monitors. This is a very important one, cables. I've taught my students how to professionally wrap a cable so you don't get kinks in it. And I think the next guy coming in for the sound, he knows how to do that. But anyway, small little cables. Here's an instrument, 1/4-inch cables. Notice they're all nicely wrapped. It keeps them lasting a lot longer. We do have in-ear monitors, which we've used occasionally. It does help, especially for your guitarist and a drummer, to be able to hear better what's going on, because they have a hard time hearing their instruments, especially the electric guitar and the bass guitar. In here I keep direct boxes, and the microphones are usually right. It's not normally there. You see that where I keep the microphones. This was a student, Miller, left that. Here is a direct box. It's a powered direct box, and this was made specifically for like acoustic guitars that don't have a pickup inside, or they don't have any way to power themselves. So it requires a 9-volt battery, which I took out so it doesn't go bad. And you plug in your XLR cable, your microphone cable here, and then plug in your guitar here. You can use it for other things, you know, that need an input. But this button is like the on-off button for it. That's on, that's off. But I still, that's the ground. All these have a ground button, so if you get a hum or something, you might try. I just leave it in. But you might want to mess, if you ever get a hum with your direct boxes, that's a lot of times that's the problem right there. But I leave this out until it's ready to use, because it runs through batteries pretty quick. This is the foot pedal for the keyboard, and we only have one foot pedal. Maybe we'll have another one. I'll bring one. And then this is a power cable for the Roland. I'm going to show you in just a second here. All right, here's our drum set. Those boxes are just, we don't actually need those boxes, I don't think, just haven't gotten around to looking at them. There's our drum set that we store. We have 2 keyboards. One was having problems, this big one. So I didn't want it, and it's very heavy. And so I bought this one, this little roller here. It does a nice job. And I was going to set this up, but I'm running out of time. But anyone who has any knowledge of keyboards, the guy who's playing the keyboards now, he knows it. Most people, anybody who plays keyboards, understand how to hook it up. It has different functions, different sounds. Doesn't have a whole lot of sounds, but you don't really need a whole lot. This one actually has a lot of sounds, and I was going to use this keyboard as to, like, fill background pads, like strings and different pads to just fill up the room, give it a little bit more of fullness. So I was going to switch back and forth keyboard guys. One week would be the fill guy who'd, just playing basically chords, and then the other guy playing the piano part. So that was my goal for this next year, to do that. All right, I try to keep the music stands, the microphones organized the best I can. That's how I do it. But a lot of times, if my students are just doing it, they just throw them in there. And I'll come back usually on Friday, and I'll try to straighten it up. Or if I can't, I'll come say, hey, straighten it up, please, But that's one reason why I wanted to create a partition here, some type of partition, so that we could put, because there's complaints. Donna and others, they wish this wasn't here. And so I had this idea of building a partition. Maybe you could buy them, just like an office partitions, dividers. But I'd want them to match the color, either the wood color or the white background here, so it would blend in better. But you could actually, then you could put these back here. Kids wouldn't be stumbling over them, little kids running around on Sunday morning. So this is also the school's, this percussion device. And we've used that a few times. All right, so that's the equipment area. Okay, I want to show you how I like the cables to be wrapped when wrapping cables, okay? Now you can practice with a piece of rope or anything, any extension cord at your house or whatever, but you'll want to practice, okay? So when you're wrapping a cable, you grab the cable like this as if you're shaking their hand, you're shaking somebody's hand, all right? And then you take this hand and you grab it like you're coming toward your chest. You grab it like this, all right? Like you're coming toward your chest. And then you take, and then just pull your hand up to where it's even, like this, all right? You pull your hand up, and where your knuckles are touching. And then, but you just lay it in your hand like that, okay? So now you have, so I grabbed this like this, and then just brought it up, my hands like this, and just laid it in there. All right? That's your first move. Next one, though, is you, instead of coming toward you, you go out, but it's like you're offering a cup of water to somebody. How, is that a cup of water? No, I'll just take the cable. I'm going this way. Oh! And grab the cable like this. All right, so I've grabbed it like that. That's what it looks like. And now I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to spin it around. So I'm offering a cup of water, and then I'm spinning this around. All right, so I'm spinning it this way and laying it in there. All right. And I kind of adjust it to make sure they're even. Now, I don't want a huge circle because they got to fit in different places, but usually you have a case or you have like a basket or some, a drawer, to put them in. So you don't want them to become too big, even though that's actually better for the cable itself, honestly. But this is about the best size, about the size of my head, okay? All right, so I did the little turning around thing, and now I'm going to grab it toward myself again, grab it, and then just bring it up, touching the knuckles and dropping it in. Make sure they're even. Next move is I'm going to offer the cup of water. Do you like a cup of water? No, I like to kick the cable. And now I grab it like this, I have it like that, and now I'm going to spin it around like this. Spin. I see the whole thing is spinning around, all right? So that's the move. That's the move we make, and we do it every time. Now this one, whoops, see how I had that too long? So you got to be watching while you're wrapping your cables. They have the same distance, they're the same width, length, breadth, height. All right, so that one, so now I'm going to grab it toward me, bring it up, lay it in there. Now I'm going to offer the cup of water, spin it around, like that. Grab it toward me, bring it up. Offer the cup of water, spin it around. Grab it toward me, bring it up. Cup of water, turn it around. All right. So when I go up here, I should be looking at my thumb, the back of my thumb, and when I bring it up. Okay. Now, when it comes to attaching the strap on it, you want to look and see, you want these to be even. You want the end pieces to be the same length where the strap is, all right? So I'm going to have to move this strap, this cable strap, so that it'll be in the middle. It'll be in the middle, so I'll move it up here a little bit. You have to do this for almost every time. You have to do a little adjusting there. And then I have it in the middle, and there's my little, move it down a little bit more, and wrap it. Voila. All right, and that's about the right size you want it. This will keep your cables from being crinked. You definitely want to keep away from getting knots in them. You definitely do not want to have knots in your cables, whether it's a XLR cable like this, a microphone cable, or an instrument cable. Having those little knots in there really weakens the metal inside here, that the current goes through, and you can damage them pretty quickly when you have kinks. If you twist it too much, when you're wrapping a cable around a microphone stand, maybe you don't want to do it a whole bunch of times, just maybe a few times, because the more stretching, the more bending you do to these cables, the more the damage is greater. You'll do more damage. All right, so you want to take good care of your cables because they're expensive, and you don't have to replace them. And they can be pretty easily damaged depending on how much time they're crunched and twisted around. You don't want to do that. You want to keep them as straight as possible until it's time to wrap them, and like this. Okay.